Welcome back on this Monday. Glad that you're joining us. We are going to wrap up the 5th chapter of Luke today. Remember, in the last 2 days, there was some grumbling going on by the Pharisees, the opposition to Jesus. They were grumbling, first of all, to themselves, then to the disciples. Today, we're going to see them finally grumble to Jesus, bring it to the one who they should be concerned about. Let's read, beginning with verse 33 all the way through 39. And they, the Pharisees, said to him, to Jesus, "The disciples of John fast often and offer prayers, and so do the disciples of the Pharisees, but yours eat and drink." And Jesus said to them, "Can you make wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast in those days." And he told them a parable. "No one tears a piece of cloth from a new garment and puts it on an old garment. If it does, it will tear the new, and the piece from the new will not match the old. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. If he does, the new wine will burst the skins, and it will be spilled, and the skins will be destroyed. New wine must be put into fresh wineskins. And no one, after drinking old wine, desires new, for he says, 'The old is good.'" This follows immediately of what they're talking about. Probably at the same time, while they were at Levi's house, the Pharisees, or shortly after that, the Pharisees were confronting Jesus because his disciples weren't fasting. John's disciples fasted. Their disciples fasted. Notice I didn't say that they fasted, right? Their disciples. This idea of fasting is part of their piety, their outward show of obedience to God and to make it look better. Now fasting is what it would be is they would often go from sun up to sundown without food. Sometimes when they would fast, they would make sure they wouldn't put oil on their head to keep their hair from going all over. They wouldn't wash up. They would make themselves look miserable so that everyone would see that they were fasting. Jesus addresses that other places, but here, when they're saying, "Why doesn't your disciples fast?" Jesus really uses 3 parables. It just says he said one, but there are really 3 in there. First of all, he used the analogy, I guess you would say, of the wedding feast, that while the groom is there, people aren't going to fast. They are there to party with the groom who is there. Jesus making the analogy that he is the groom. And then once he is gone, when the groom is taken away, and he will be taken away, this is the first time that he's pointing forward to his crucifixion in a way, then they will fast. So that fasting will happen, but not yet. The next one is the old and the new garments, right? You don't take a patch, tear a new cloth, a new garment to get a patch to put on an old one, because if you do, the new one's ruined and it doesn't really match the old, right? So really what he's saying is the incompatibility of works and grace. The works, the obedience that they had to do in Judaism, by the way, Judaism is different than the religion of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That was based upon the relationship with their God. They moved from relationship to rules. So it's all about obedience. He's saying the rules of Judaism is not compatible with the new, the grace that he brings. The third one is very similar to the second. It talks about putting new wine in new wineskins, because new wine, as it ferments more, will burst the skins and break it, and you'll lose the skin, you'll lose the wine. So new wine in new wineskin. And then there's that part that he says, verse 39, "And no one after drinking old wine desires new, for he says the old is good." Now, old wine is better than new. It has the opportunity to age, and that is very true. But here, Jesus is turning it upside down, right? That understanding. People will say, "No, old wine is better. I'm going to try to have that," without understanding the new wine of Jesus is better than any of that old aged wine. He has made this understanding new again. The new wine is Jesus' kingdom of grace. Again, the old is the kingdom of the law, the kingdom of rules, the kingdom of self-righteousness instead of Christ righteousness. Hope that made sense. I know I kind of ran through that a little bit quicker. If you have any questions, you can drop me a comment on YouTube. I tend to be able to see those a little bit easier, and then I'll be able to respond to it then. Have a great day, and we'll see you again on Tuesday.